your girl Nina Montañez.
Hey, yo, what it do? It's your boy Rue, and I'm coming for you. And this is
Sofrito Speaks.
Hey, what it do? What it do? What it do? What it
Welcome
do?
back.
That's what I meant to say. Welcome back.
Damas
Damas
y
y
caballeros.
caballeros, y ustedes out there. Welcome back to
You.
Sofrito Speaks, Season 6, Episode number 9.
Still can't believe it's been 9 episodes already.
We took a week off.
We did.
Slight apology right there.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna take accountability. I failed to communicate with my co-host that I would not be here for the holidays, and it wasn't until I was gearing up to leave that I realized, oh shit, I'm not gonna be here. So he did a solo episode, which was cute.
It was
It
cutesies.
was cute.
I tried. I was very like, so, you know.
Who were you with? It was just you?
It was just me. I was by myself. And my demons. But also, then we're like, oh, we can link up on Tuesday night and record.
At
And
7:30, and then
Tuesday
thankfully
came.
rolls around. He's like, "Yo, you still trying to do this? Cause like it's."
I'm like, let's just take a week off. It's
And
good
I
to
was
take a week
like,
off.
"Yes."
I was like,
"Please."
I'm exhausted.
Please, I
I
don't like a forced episode. We realized that we've done that in the past, maybe like season 1, season 2. We were trying to force episodes, like trying to fit in the time to make them, and some of them were good, some of them were super lackluster because we just didn't have the energy. But we were just like, yo, let's just read the room.
During
Y'all aren't
Monday
paying
through
us
Friday,
yet. We can
Monday
skip
through
a
Friday
week.
is pretty hard for us because we both have intense schedules. So like meeting up to record on a Tuesday. I don't know what I was thinking that Sunday. That's why I don't make plans. But anyways, let's go into our first section, which is El Chisme, the part of the show where we let you know what had us fucked up or jodido in the past, I guess, for this episode, the past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You want to start us off?
Yeah, absolutely. So,
That was a very...
mi gente, I am 420 friendly. However, for y'all, I don't bash anybody that, is 420 friendly. If you want to do that in my presence, that's fine. It's not disgusting to me. It is what it is. I just need y'all to explain to Sulma why I came home smelling like that. Okay. Because I'm not gonna. So
baby, I thought about that when you left. I was like,
oh, she was already asleep when I left.
oh, okay.
So we had a little corito. Actually, the corito was mad fun. That didn't have me fucked. No, what had me fucked up was how long it took me to join the corito. Because Ruben's been doing this for a minute.
Yeah, but okay, you're coming into that. You're coming into this now, but I'm actually on the heels of like trying to do a dry period of my life.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, we could still do a corito. Just
but
not,
I still can smoke. Shane.
You know what I mean? 420 friendly. So people kept telling me about edibles.
Oof.
And so
Did it once?
when I
never
went
again.
to Michigan for the holidays, my boys bought some gummies, and I was like, was going to the gym and stuff, and I was telling them that I was really sore, and they were like, "Yo, they have recovery ones, right? You should try it." And my boys, I love them. I love my boys so much. They literally were like, "We're gonna give you half. Take half." And they were telling me like how much is what, like whatever. Like they could fist a bag and they're fine. But they were like, yo, Nina, like if this is your first time, you know how some people are like, nah, take the whole thing, you'll be fine. Like because they're used to it. I really enjoy the fact that they were like, okay, so you've never done this? Okay, bet. They cut it in half. They were like, we're going to save the other half for you later if you want it for later. Take it, see how you feel. If you don't really feel anything, then maybe take the other half. But they're like, we're not going anywhere. So like, we're just going to be in the house. Like, yo, you're fine. You're good, which I greatly appreciate. Like, get around people who give a shit about your well-being.
I absolutely hate people who spark up and then they're like, let's go do this. And I'm like, bitch.
I don't have that.
You done made my brain go mellow. Now you want me to be in society? Oh,
no.
I got to think about how I walk and shit. Like, no.
On Thanksgiving Day, I had told my boy, I was like, yo, let me get a whole one. Because I want my stomach to be a black hole. Like, I just want it to, I want to eat. Like, I want to eat.
Yeah.
So
now you taking a gummy edible for some food.
oh, yeah. So Oh my God. So y'all remember, y'all need to go back to last year's episode when I talked about being up there with my boys for Thanksgiving. We're going to talk about it then because I was talking hella shit. I was literally talking about how I was like, I'm not doing that again. Why would I give up a Caribbean cuisine for a traditional African-American meal? Like, they're two different things, mi gente. Like, they're opposite ends of the spectrum. And I don't know why 2 years in a row I've chose to give up the Caribbean version of Thanksgiving. Because I'm gonna be honest, the food was good, yes, but I still believe that our food is better. Period. So whatever, it went and I was like, yo, I want to be able to like really enjoy it. Let me get the gummy. So it took a while. It probably took like 4 hours for this thing to kick in. So as we finally sit down for dinner, I'm rocking my plate. Like, I'm licking my fingers. I go up, I get seconds. The year before, I didn't get seconds. Went up for seconds.
The visual that I'm just having of Nina at the table.
Food. Like, y'all, when I tell you, and I'm like, you do something different to the food this year? Forgetting that I took the edible. I forgot I took the edible. Like, I was like in this plate. Like, literally forgot. And then when we're doing a case file, so these are so fun. You can buy case files at like Target, Amazon, whatever, and you literally sit with a group of people and you're given these files and you have to figure out the murder. Mad fun. It's a cool game to play. Honestly, the next Corito, we should absolutely do one of these. It's so fun. It's so fun. I was reading the witness testimony. So everywhere, passing around the sheets. So everybody's picking up different information. So I'm reading.
I'm laughing just because I've seen you in that state.
It took
season 2.
Remember when we tried?
No, we is a lot of people, baby. When I was like, I'm not doing that before we record.
Episode, and
that was the most. That's one of the most awkwardest episodes we've ever had because it like midway through it just went left and I was like, luckily we did not have video. That was just audio. Because if you would have seen me at that table, I was just sitting there like, and we're gonna go to the next section. Yeah.
It was so bad. I am not a functional member of society. So I'm sitting here, and so me and my boy, we both took the edibles. And my other boy is sitting across from us, and he's like looking up at us like, what did these clowns get into? So I am fighting this giggle fest.
Oh my God. When the giggles, oh, okay. Now I want to get high.
So one of my boys looks at me and he goes, yo, it hit?
That's usually an indicator of when that first giggle, like that giggle fight happens right there. That's how you know.
We both start cracking up. And I've been reading the same paragraph for 15 minutes. Other people need this file, and I would not let it go because I'm going to get through it.
And so wait, were you 3 the only ones?
No, it was like 7 of us at the table.
But everybody was?
No, it was just me and my boy.
Just you two?
Just 2 people.
Oh, baby. Oh my God. That I would have woke up the next day like.
No. So we weren't like obnoxious. We just were kind of like, we were just like super happy. And then my boy was like.
Did y'all go for that walk?
But we were in the house. And he was like, I was like, yo, bro, I'm not gonna hold you. Everybody started to get up from the table to get dessert. And I was like, yo, bro, I'm not gonna hold you. That shit hit. And my boy looks up at me and he goes, oh, I know. You want to pass me that file now since it's taking you forever to read it? He said, you can't concentrate for shit, can you?
That's usually when I'm that high. I'm just like I'll just be the referee. This was
a body, like a full body or whatever. So I could feel like all the soreness that I felt from like the gym and stuff. I could feel my joints. They didn't hurt, but they felt just tingly. So I started to laugh because it felt funny to me. And my boys are like, yo, Nino, what is so funny, bro? Let us in on the joke. And I couldn't explain it. But that definitely had me messed up. The other thing that had me messed up. Here's my thing. Without saying too much, I can't fake the funk. So if I don't like you or I don't vibe with you, I'm not going to pretend to care about you. I can't do that. And my thing is that I don't trust people who actively want to, no, okay. Again, without saying too much, because there's things that I can't say yet. Stay tuned. I don't trust people who, so if you had an issue with somebody, and let's say for whatever reason it was like a huge like ordeal, like let's say legal systems involved in this situation. Okay, I choose your side. Bet we cool. I'm choosing your side, but I'm gonna go hang out with the other side because it's convenient. I'm looking at you sideways like, hold up. You mean to tell me you believe the story, but you gonna hang out with the person who's victim?
Wait, what?
It's tough without saying too much.
Right.
Basically, I can't fuck with people who want to play both sides of the fence.
Okay.
And I hadn't been in a situation like that for so long that when it presented itself, I was like, ew. Like you suck as a person. Like you suck as a person. You are playing both sides of the fence. And if you wanted to play both sides of the fence, I'm going to just push you over. Stay on that side. For me, I don't need you playing both sides. That's fine. You got it. Because there's a lot of backstory. There's a lot going on that sides kind of have to be picked.
Yeah.
In this situation. And it's evident that you chose yours, but yet you still want to try to play bitch, bye. That had me all the way messed up. And I had to like talk to my friends about it. I was like, am I bugging?
It was one of those.
It was one of those like, y'all see this. She don't. Okay. Okay. I'll spill all the details at a later date. There's just pending action that needs to be taken. So I can't say too much about it. But it had me fucked up because I was like, we still doing this in our 30s?
Not in our 30s.
That's crazy. Oh my God. This is like 17-year-old shit. Oh my God. Mama's.
Oh my God.
And I'm going to be honest. Again, I don't know how to fake the funk. If I don't trust you and you're moving funny, I promise you I can be in the same room with you for 5 days straight and not say a word to you. I will only speak when spoken to. You ain't saying nothing to me, baby. I ain't saying nothing to you.
Word to your mother.
That's it. And that's just what it is. I got more, but I'm gonna pass it over to Ruben and then he could toss it back to me. But go off.
Yeah, I mean, the past 2 weeks have been an adventure, I guess.
It's an adventure.
Emotionally.
Oh.
I feel like I have been trying to just be a little bit happier in life, and that's kind of been a little bit of a challenge in itself, dealing with, I guess what I'm trying to say is that I'm trying to fight seasonal depression this year, and it's fucking me up.
Ooh.
Like,
don't let it win, though.
It has me like in a chokehold. Last week, well, when did we last come on with an episode?
It's the stuttering for me.
Yeah. Okay. The last episode was 2 weeks ago, right? The weekend before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Okay. So since then,
I'm looking up dates.
I went to work and we had a very dead week. And then this last week was the same thing because literally we don't do nothing. But I realized that I've been in a better mental space at work. I did. Wait. Gather the troops. Let's refer back to episode
6.
Episode 2 or 4, which was subscription only. And I talked about the lady who threw candy at
That wasn't subscription.
me.
That wasn't subscription. That wasn't subscription.
It was public?
Yeah.
So the lady who threw candy at me. So,
She listened to the podcast?
Oh, I'm not worried.
No, I'm saying, did she hear what you said? Did she
I mean, they
apologize?
probably have. They probably know that I have a podcast, and that's fine because you're not paying me. So, what had happened is that the lady threw something at me again. But this time around, baby, I had to fight the demons.
I know, Nuck, if you...
Ella me tiró. a fucking stress ball and was like on the same tip of like,
Fix your face,
jokingly like smile.
more.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sick of
And
that.
I absolutely hate when people tell me to smile. Like it's so triggering to me. Like
asco.
I don't think people
Me da
understand
asco.
how triggering that is. Like being told your whole life to smile is like, why are you forcing this emotion on me to make you feel comfortable? That doesn't make sense to me. If I'm happy, happiness doesn't come always with a smile. Stop thinking that. Happiness is just a calm and serene place. And if I'm in a calm and serene place, I'm sitting there like,
We got right.
I ain't giving you a dirty look. I'm not doing all of this. Like, I'm just chill, bro. Let me just rock. Like, why you all up in my mix? So this time, oh, smile. And I turn around. I'm like, yo, smiling's for weirdos. She's like, what? I'm like, yeah, because the fact that you walk around all day with a smile, you're weird. That's a weird thing. Who has the same emotion 24 hours of their day? That's weird. I'm sorry. Maybe it's just an American thing, but I don't get it. I've never got it. Like, I watch people, okay? When I lived in New York, I people watched all the time. I watch people walk with a smile on. That is weird. That's weird to me. But anyways, that's besides the point. So I told her like,
But my thing is like assuming I'm in a bad mood because I don't have a smile plastered on my face. Like, we're still doing this.
okay, so, I say that, and she like grabs this stress ball, and now my vision went into like slow-mo, and I'm like, do it, chucks it into my office, and it hits my desk, and I just look at it, and I look up, and I'm like, I look at my screen. This is all slow-mo. I look at my screen, and I'm like, I'm gonna lose my job today. This is gonna be the day I'm gonna let God handle it, because if I handle it, I'm going to jail.
It's above me now.
I had to sit. I got up, closed my door, had to sit. They already knew that I was tight. They already knew. And later on, you will see how I knew they already knew. So the day goes by, whatever. This happened at like 10 a.m. I'm contemplating. Two things happen. One, I vented to the wrong person, and I absolutely hate when I vent my emotions to people and they try to downplay it. And they try to be like, oh, you're doing too much. You're thinking too deep into it. No, you're not thinking enough of it, and that's what the problem is. That's where I see the issue, baby. Because you're so surface level, you want to be like, oh, no, it doesn't happen like that. Yeah, everybody loves me.
So every time I convey my emotions, I'm taking it's too much. Like every time I'm calling something out, it's not that deep. So when does it get deep? When I slap the hell out of you? Is that when it's deep?
And
then I
not
took
only
it
that,
too far.
not only that,
Oh!
but my fellow Latinos in the workplace who think that it's okay for white people to just do these type of things or act on these behaviors towards
Call 'em
you,
out.
and you just have
Call
to
'em
sit
out.
there and be like, that's just
playing.
how Nina is.
That's just how Deborah
Every
is.
time Nina sees me, she punches me 3 times in the face, and you're like, that's just how she is. It's like, no, I don't give a fuck that's how you are. Because if I have to walk up in here and be on some like, good morning, how are you? Knowing damn fucking well that my soul does not give a fuck how your morning went, but I'm doing it to be nice, I expect the same in return. I expect this respect that everybody talks about, this respect bubble. I expect that in return. I'm not a child. We're not on the fucking field. That's not what we're doing. So that was number one. I had to go back to my office after venting to someone. I had to go back to my office, and now I'm pissed about something else. So I'm like, fuck. Like I'm just sitting there with my door closed, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, people are crazy. Like, my mind starts wandering.
Yup.
So then I go back to the root, and I'm like, the issue is that at the end of the day, I never communicated a boundary, and I need to communicate this boundary because I let it slide the first time, and I'm not gonna let it slide this time.
You know what we call that, mi gente? You know what we call that?
Growth. So 2:00 rolls by. I remember the time because I have a little HR log because these white people be trying, baby. You're not gonna win. So I wrote in the log, and I'm like, I'm gonna go talk to her right now. So do I? Do I not go grab the ball, go into her office, and I'm like, let me tell you something.
I'm already scared for her, bro.
And yo, her eyes were like, and I'm like, I closed the door, and I'm like, I asked, I'm like, is it okay if I close the door? Because I want to tell you something personal. And she's like, are you mad at me? And I was like, I'm a little bit bothered. I'm like, it's very triggering to me when somebody physically does something. A push. If I don't know you like that, like here, I'm like, oh, this bitch want to fight. This is what we're doing. We fighting. Mm-hmm. Like you threw something at me. I wanted to grab it, throw that, and pick up my desk and throw that as well. Because ¿por qué? Because I can, bitch. That's why. That's where my mind went. So I told her, I'm like, it's very triggering to me. I'm like physical stuff. Like, I'm cool with joking. I'm like, sometimes you go a little, we can go a little bit too far. I'm like, I've had to apologize for things that I've said to people because in my mind it's a joke, but in reality it was offensive. I'm like, I get it, and she's like, I'm so sorry. I went home and no, she didn't go home. Sorry. This was the next day. There's a part 2. She's like, I thought about it and, and I knew right away you were upset because you closed the door. And I was like, so you knew. And you didn't address the issue. Interesante. So, boom, whatever. I let it slide. I'm like, whatever, it's cool. Just don't ever do it again. That's why I ended it with. Don't ever do it again. We're good. It's all love.
Yeah.
Have to be the bigger person, right? The next day comes. She comes into my office first thing in the morning. She's like, can I talk to you real quick? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, tears. The tears.
Oh! Oh! I fucking hate
the river.
Oh
the
my God. Was she white?
Yes.
Honey,
not loud environment. Not loud environment. The tears went off and I'm sitting there and y'all already, like I just finished telling you, like this lady was trying to tell me to smile because I have a serious resting bitch face. So I'm sitting at my desk like, and she's like, she's sorry and she went home and she couldn't get her mind off of it because she's a person that wants to bring joy into people's lives. She doesn't want to cause trauma. And, she sees where she went wrong and she just wants to apologize. And I appreciate, let me tell you, I do appreciate the fact that you sat down and thought about what you did and did not dismiss me in a way of like, I'm just kidding because I absolutely hate that shit, So I do appreciate that. I'm going to give you your little credit. But
why was she crying though?
Because, baby had me fucked up.
I want to know why she was crying. Like what?
It obviously, it traumatized her, I guess. In talking with one of my other friends, I was like telling him the story and he's like, you're probably the first person in her life or in the office that has ever called her out on her shit. And I was like, possibly so. I'm like, that could possibly be because everybody here, according from conversations I've had with other coworkers, everybody gets along and I'm the problem. So, yeah, that had me fucked up. And I was just like, I ended it with, because I'm trying to change it, trying to make a change in my ways, be the best that I could be that lasts me all of my days. So I gave her a little hug, a little one of these. And I was like, it's all love. It's all good. And I told her again, I finished with, just don't let it happen again.
Punto.
As per my last email. So that had me fucked up. Yeah, it sucks. Let me tell you something. For me, it really just feels weird because it's like I'm in this point in my life where I'm really just trying to see people and be like, all right, maybe like, because this racism and everything has gotten so deep into my thought process that it's like I'm trying to not ignore it, but I'm trying to just maybe not always run to that in my life, in my situations, in my circumstances. Because I have friends where like this white person didn't stop for them to cross the street. They're like, oh, what the fuck, this white? And it's like, okay, does it have to always be that?
I don't think it always has to be that.
So I'm trying to work through that.
I just don't do white women tears.
And so for me, like sitting there and just seeing a white person crying in front of me, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't have an emotion. I was very much so like,
because I feel like,
but I'm like, you knew what you were doing. You said to me, you knew,
and I think that
I brought up to her like, you did it. This is the second time.
And you could have
in
brought
the
it
matter
to,
of 3 weeks.
You could have
you've
brought
done
it to
again.
HR, and her job could have been in jeopardy. That's why we're crying. If we want to keep it a buck, that's why you're crying. You're not
Facts.
crying because you
Facts.
fucking feel bad.
Facts.
You're crying. You're trying to show a level, some semblance of an emotion to try to get the guilt card from this person that you straight up violated, because you know that if they take it up the chain of command, you're gonna lose your job given the culture and the society that we are
facts.
in right
It's
now.
facts.
It's not because you genuinely feel bad. You went home and somebody probably was like, you need to apologize.
You better
You
fix
need
that.
to go fix that because you can lose your job just solely based off of the fact that they felt threatened. Boom.
I also felt like I also felt like the whole play itself was just very textbook, and I played along. I watched what I said. I was like very clear with what I said, and like I just kept reiterating, like, don't let it happen again, because if it happens again, baby,
I'm coming for your job. I can't promise I'm gonna be
the way I need a payout, the way the bank needs to see something.
No, dead ass. Well, what I got also stems from white privilege.
It's given the Sofrito White podcast.
Sofrito less.
Sofrito Less podcast.
Oh, okay.
Sofrito mute.
I think we gotta go over. I remember we talked about what Amanda Seales had said in the past, like white people who happen to be white. The difference between that.
Oh, I live by that.
I live by that.
and
that's how I categorize
And
y'all.
I have
I'm not gonna hold you.
Yeah, I have my white friends who I'm like, shorty's down, like never been disrespectful, never been rude, never been.
So it's between the Karens and the Hannahs. Hannah understands that though she is white, that there are privileges that she is privy to, and she understands that when she gets in company with people of color, and we say white people, she knows we're not talking about her. She doesn't take offense to it. Now,
the
Karen,
Hannah of my office just was her last day on Friday, and I was like,
bye. We hate to see it.
out of everyone here, you're the realest bitch. I fuck with you.
Damn, you hate to see
She's
it.
the one that gave me that.
Oh, thanks, Hannah. I don't actually know her name, but we're gonna call her Hannah. So anyways, we drove through Canada. Okay, we drove to Michigan. We drove through Canada because it cut like 2 hours off of our trip.
Wow.
Get to go through Canada. We get to Port something, and we are staying in my friend's house that he has in the area. Let me paint you a picture, mi gente. We are in the middle of nowhere, Michigan, right? When I tell you nowhere, hasta el fucking streetlights aren't even on. There's not a corner store in sight.
I don't know how people live.
We were the only house on the block for I don't even know how long. It had just snowed up there. So the land looked barren. There wasn't shit going on. We had to drive 25, 30 minutes out to see a bar, to get food, okay? So we dropped off our stuff at this house that we were staying at, which...
It's giving murder. No, just kidding.
It's giving First 48. It's giving an episode of Criminal Minds. You know what I mean?
It's giving Michigan.
It's giving, I need to call SVU, Special Units Victim. Special Victims Unit. Cool.
The fact that you even know that, though. I love that.
So I was like, okay, Olivia Benson, baby, I need to drop a pin. Come get me, please, because this isn't it. So we drop our stuff off. I'm like, my boys already know, oh, Nina needs to eat because I eat X amount of times a day. I can eat between 2 to 4 times a day. They can thrive off of one meal.
Oh,
I don't understand how,
never.
but I could. I'm not eating
Clearly.
dike at 11 o'clock. At 11 o'clock, and then I'm not gonna eat again till the next day. You're out of your mind. So whatever. So we go. We come back. We chilling. We're gonna take a group nap. There's 3 couches. Each of us take one, and they all fit us perfectly. So bet. And we're like chit chatting, whatever. We're about to take a nap. We hype. I'm like, yo, this group nap about to be everything. Hype this shit. I look at my boy real quick, and we heard like a click at the door. So we're like, you heard that? Our other boy was like ready to snuggle up. He was like, I ain't hear nothing. So I'm looking at him and I'm like, nah, bro, like someone's here. Is everybody accounted for? Because we were. They're telling us, our other boy's telling us that we tripping. Okay. So I must be tripping. Out of nowhere, the door opens and this white man walks in and says, my boy's name. Are you so-and-so? We'll call him Paul. Paul? And now me and my other boy are looking at each other like, so we did hear a click at like the clicking of a door opening. Okay. So now we up. We're like, oh, wait a minute. Now we alert. We're looking at our boy Paul like, dog, did you know we was having visitors? Paul's like, I don't even know who these fools are. So this white man is continues to tell us, oh yeah, nah, so-and-so lets us stay up here because we're hunting. Got the guns in the car. Ah! What?
Not. We're going to get kicked.
Hunting? What are you hunting? Let me paint the picture for you again, mi gente. We are 3 people of color in the middle of nowhere, Michigan. 2 black men and a Puerto Rican. And a Puerto Rican. So we're looking at each other like, hey, yo. Mind you, our boy Paul's from there. He from up there, whatever. Me and my other boy, though, we are from the city. So we are like, what? We on 10 already. Like, well, hold up. Like, how are you taking this? He and I are already planning an escape route. How are we going to survive this? What is up? So they end up this guy leaves, whatever. We are sitting there looking at each other, bewildered, confused as ever. What is happening? I said, you better call your boy and ask him why he didn't tell us that he just be opening up these doors to just anybody. And this is a hostel. We're in a hostel. What's that? What it's called? We're in a hostel. People just come here, stop, do whatever. So I'm thinking, okay, we need to shower.
On their way to the woods.
We've been on the road.
This was at night.
When they showed up, it was like in the afternoon. It was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon when we first had the encounter. When we first had the encounter, okay. I take a nap, like a 4-hour nap, whatever. Now we're getting up. We're going to try and figure out what we want to eat. So I wake up from my nap and I look at my boy and I was like, yo, who's here? Because I hear things, but I see the 3 of us are all on our couches. So we're trying to figure out what's going on. He goes, yeah, no. They came back. What do you mean they came back? He said, yeah, no, they're here. So now I'm like in the group chat. What the fuck? Like in the group chat, whatever. And I was like, yo, you better tell your boy that this shit ain't funny. And the thing is that he doesn't understand why we were upset. This is trying to tell a white man why 3 people of color were upset that we were not told that there were going to be people who hunt staying here also. Oh, excuse us for being upset. What? Y'all ain't never seen Get Out?
I was just about to say, it's giving Get Out.
So now we're thinking, well, we dropped all our stuff off. We cannot leave if they're going to stay here. Mi gente, we didn't eat that night. I didn't eat that night. I had a couple Skittles, some Doritos, and cranberry juice.
Nah, you wildin'. I would have packed my stuff back up, got in the car.
Can we go stay at a hotel? Yeah. Yo, then his son shows up. This said person's son shows up.
Oh, no.
Now there's 2 of them. Granted, we outnumber them, but we don't got weapons. They got weapons. These men I don't owe them a conversation. I turn over on the couch and I'm like, nope, I'm not talking to them. I'm all set. Don't give a shit. But this is, mi gente, this is the thing though. This is the thing. They kept asking us where we from. They saw the New Hampshire license plates because my boys' plates. Well, where y'all from? Loco, ¿cuántas veces yo voy a decir que New Hampshire, loco? Nosotros vinimos from New Hampshire, bro. How many times do I have to say it? Like, are you trying to record what we're saying? Like, I don't get it. And then he kept asking, what are y'all doing up here? I don't know. Context clues, you ignorant fuck. It's the holidays. If he already told you he's from the area and we're visiting family, how many times are you going to ask the same question? Because now my criminal minds is kicking in. He's trying to make sure that we far enough from home and that can't nobody hear us. That's where my mind went. That's this is how tone deaf this man was. Like, he wasn't understanding why we were like on the fritz. We was like trying to
he's like, I got some moonshine out in the back if you want to cook some ribs back. Like,
I'm just like, bro, how are you not understanding that this is uncomfortable? Mi gente, I counted. He asked us 5 different times where we from, and why are we here?
It's like why?
And then
why
for a little
why do white
razzle
people
dazzle,
always want to be asking
for a little razzle dazzle,
questions?
how long are you gonna be here? Oh,
Oh, it's given.
It's giving.
It's given. We're gonna let the county sheriff.
It's giving. We want to know how much time we got to flee the scene after we murder you. Because I was like, yo, you can't. This all of it was just not it. I was like, Lord, this is how I go out. Can I at least take a shower? Like,
I'm like, damn, Nina.
the house was disgusting. Leaves, cobwebs, it was gross. So we all were like, we didn't touch anything. We were just like, okay. Couldn't shower because there was no towels. There was no, like, it just wasn't a livable space. It just was not it. Had potential, but it wasn't it. So we leave, whatever. We go to Detroit. We go about our business. We end up meeting up with the person whose house we stayed in. And he was not understanding why we were upset. He's like, oh, what was the issue? The issue was we didn't know anybody was going to be here when we got here. So that's our issue. And then on top of that, you got to look at it from our perspective. These 2 white men that are out here to hunt, and there's 3 people of color in this house. Sir, you tell us how safe we were supposed to feel when everybody just got access to this crib. Then looks my boy straight in the face and says, we have an extra gun if you want to come out with us. Never again. Never again. Never again.
And with all of that hunting in sight, let's go over to our next section.
Ay bendito.
Alrighty. This is Ay Bendito, the part of the show where we go through local and global media headlines, or any headlines at all, and give you guys our opinions. You got anything?
Balenciaga, baby.
I'm over. Let me tell you something. These brands, they do everything intentional. I don't care what they say. I don't care what anybody says.
They're not. You hear that they're suing the creative director of that campaign, and it's like, you guys saw this before it was released.
But are they really?
Get out of
sometimes
here.
I just think they just say these
and then
things.
Kim Kardashian, I just sat with Balenciaga. We had a conversation and blah blah blah. Girl,
but my thing was,
you have that much power.
My thing was, why was Kim Kardashian brought into this? Because I remember when this was first starting to come out, people were literally like, why isn't Kim Kardashian speaking up? And I'm like, y'all give the wrong people a microphone. Like, what does that have to do with anything?
Just cancel the brand, yo.
Not only that, but we all know, let me just be very clear. And this may just be a me thing, but we all know cancel culture just does not exist.
No, it doesn't.
It does not exist. It's not a thing. I mean, it's cute for the first 3 days, and then after that, we're all right back.
Yep,
you know, so this whole thing about it, I think it was highlighted to cover up other conversations that were happening. And I think that that's how usually a lot of these things go. Everything that happens in the music industry is literally planned. Like anything fashion, anything, it is planned. It is planned because
you want the wow factor.
Exactly. You're going to tell me that they didn't know about these. You didn't know about that? You didn't know about the image that it was going to give? You didn't think about that? You're telling me paid professionals who are making thousands of dollars off of these campaigns. Not one person that saw this was like,
there's no way, because they've been working on this for so long. This campaign didn't just happen. It was a planned thing. Everything have sketches. Is calculated. They have sketches of what it's gonna look like before they actually go through with it. Like, you're not gonna sit here and tell me that you didn't know this.
But this is my thing, is like everybody, and I've been realizing this a lot more lately. It's like sheep. It's like the blind leading the blind. Mm-hmm. It's like, we need to be outraged about this. And it's like, do we though? Because this has been going on. Like, Hollywood has been putting kids in awkward situations in a lot of their films, commercials, things that they say. I mean, just the other day, I was sitting here with some of my friends, and we were watching a commercial where this cartoon commercial was literally going like this, and it exploded, and it went into the next scene. And we sat there, and I was like, I know I'm high. I know I'm high because I caught that. And I was like, these are the cartoon commercials that we're seeing, you know? It's literally all over everything you're watching, everything you're seeing, everything you're hearing.
Yeah.
So it's like now there's like, let's cancel Balenciaga. First of all, we don't even, I mean, I don't know anybody who's buying real Balenciaga. Do you?
Yeah, they're on the welfare line.
I said real Balenciaga. We're not doing that.
Yeah.
Other
they
than
had
that,
to afford to buy the Balenciaga. That's why they're on the welfare line, because they couldn't afford their groceries this week.
Other than that, the Grammy nominations came out and everybody was talking about
Latin or American?
American.
Okay.
Everybody was talking about how a couple things. So I kept seeing on Twitter like how Beyonce better win Album of the Year, and I absolutely disagree.
Bad Bunny needs to win Album of the Year.
I'm sorry.
Hands
sorry.
down.
This man
This
has
man
broken
had people
every
who
streaming
don't even
platform.
speak Spanish playing and bumping his stuff. Get out. He shut down
And
every city he showed up to. I'm sorry.
Like if
Bad
we're gonna make
Bunny.
it about numbers, this man is the number one artist for every streaming platform. Let's just let that sit right there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is literally winning Artist of the Year for all of these things. So if the Grammys don't give him Artist of the Year, I mean, I already don't care for the Grammys anyways, but now I'm just going to not care a lot more.
So go off the Grammys. Can we just talk about how he got snubbed by Rosalia for Album of the Year? She like broke Grammy history winning like Album of the Year, Artist of the Year, or Album of the Year. One of the two. 2 years in a row. And I'm like, who is she? How does Rosalia win this award over Bad Bunny? And she's not even Latina.
You're talking about okay, yeah.
She's not even Latina. She's from Spain. She is a Spanish artist who transitioned into reggaeton to assimilate so that way she could pick up traction, because the shit she was singing before did nobody know about. Nobody was checking for Rosalia when she was singing her shit. Then she was like, but again, I'm not going to lose sleep over it, because this is what artists have been doing for years.
This happens all the time.
This is what happens. But the thing is that it's just annoying that Bad Bunny is just, he's shown us time and time again that like he is super talented. And then on top of that, he's a philanthropist. He speaks up for Puerto Rico. He speaks up for communities who he uses his platform for good. Like, he's just an overall dope person. And how he's getting snubbed by these things, but it's just like Bad Bunny literally, and I'm gonna give him this credit because he has literally changed the face of reggaeton.
Absolutely.
And it's crossing over into other areas. I'm sorry Daddy Yankee didn't do it. Evie Queen didn't do it. But Bad Bunny is paying homage to all these people that came before him.
And
he didn't forget who paved the way for him.
To be fair, these artists like a Daddy Yankee and like a Evie Queen were the ones who put reggaeton
on the map.
But Bad Bunny,
took it and
came and he took it away. He did what a lot of artists do what some artists do is they take a style and they're like, okay, how can we make this relevant to now, right? Because like the Don Omars weren't surviving because we're no longer in this
adapting.
Like this trap reggaeton. Like, it's cute for some tracks, but it's not adaptable to the generation now. The generation now is not on that mentality, right? So it's like he came and was like, let's talk about love. Let's talk about like breakup, heartbreak. Let's bring it an R&B twist to this reggaeton and give it a style. And they gave it. And if he doesn't win Album of the Year, I will be burning the Grammy Museum. I'm just kidding.
You did not hear that here, mi gente.
Other than that, there was another. Oh, Nicki Minaj got snubbed, which I absolutely was just like disgusted by.
What do you mean?
She didn't get nominated for Female Rapper of the Year, but Lotto did.
But what did she put out?
Super Freaky Girl.
Yeah.
She also had Do We Have a Problem that came out last year. She also had that song. I really liked that song. I don't remember the name. I'm blanking on the name, but it came up after Do We Have a Problem. Like, she's released singles in the past year that have went number one, that have done their thing. And it's like this constant rejection of Miss Nicki Minaj, which causes her to hate Cardi more. Just kidding.
Nah, no. But the thing is that like, and we've talked about this before, and it's the way that she's worked with these artists, and the moment that they work with Cardi, now it's beef, and I'm like, dang.
Well, we all know that Miss Minaj is calculated, and when it comes to female rap, and this might just be because I'm a lover of seeing females in power, but I tend to turn a blind eye to all their media tactics, and I just listen to the music, and I can spit a Nicki Minaj song back and forth, Cardi B back and forth, Azealia Banks back and forth, Iggy Azalea, like, baby, I can spit these girls' songs, and I love them all. I don't agree with all of their moves. I don't agree with all of the hate, and all of this is like, put it to the track. Like Miss Nikki said, where's the pen? Where's the pen? I would love to see the females doing that. I would love to see the females like put it in the music. Speaking of female rap, Miss Saweetie, I know you don't listen to Sweetie, and apparently you and majority of the world doesn't, because she only sold 2,000 albums or 200,000, something like that. So it was a very small number for such a big,
for the platform that she's on. It is a small
big
number.
project,
Yeah.
and I think that I never saw it for Sweetie. I've never seen it. I think her songs are catchy. Her singles are cute. I haven't seen a full project. I listened to this project and I was like, first of all, the fact that they cleared a Biggie sample for you, you know, like that's
It's the gum chewing for me.
yeah, come on. Like it's not working out. It's giving very much like you need to figure your shit out, sis, because your record company is making you look stupid as fuck right now. So keep taking that money. Keep taking that money. Other than that, and forgot what else about the Grammys. There was a lot of people talking about it, but I think a lot of people are coming to the realization that these award shows ain't shit.
Who was it? J. Cole that said it. He was like, "I don't do it for the Grammys."
Yeah, these award shows ain't shit, and that's it. Like, you're not gonna tell me anything about who I thought had the album of the year, because who I thought had the album of the year was my opinion of who is the album of the year. Fuck you mean? And Nina's favorite artist we're gonna talk about right now, Miss Jennifer Lopez. Miss Jennifer Lopez.
Apparently that was a hoax.
Yes. So I took it down right away once I found out, because I was like, ooh, baby. But Jennifer Lopez, like, there was a meme going around or something going around along the lines of her saying that she is going to sing the Whitney Houston. She's going to do the Whitney Houston tribute at the Grammys this year, doing I Will Always Love You, because she feels that her tone matches with Whitney Houston. Baby, when I tell you,
she never should. Let me set the record straight. She never should have done the Motown tribute.
oh,
The amount of talented black artists that could have done it justice, there was J-Lo. Just because you liked the music doesn't mean you needed to pay the tribute.
I think if that was true that she was going to do the Whitney Houston, I think it would have been so tone deaf. I think that.
Don't you got a new
Here's
album coming
my
out?
thing.
This is me now or something like that.
Don't even get me started. Here's my thing. Like, I'm always rock for Miss J-Lo, because she's Puerto Rican, and that's just like what I have to do. I also do enjoy some of her early work, her early albums. I'm not gonna lie, I was a J-Lo stan up until 2010, when it just started to get repetitive, and I was like, okay, what world are we living in that you're releasing 5 singles for 5 different albums and they all sound the same? What are we doing? Creativity where? Creativity is giving you don't know her, period. And then lately, she's just kind of been appearing everywhere, and it's just like, do what Beyonce did, do what Rihanna did, take a break. Let us miss you. Because there was a while that it was just J-Lo all the time. The girls were turning down the shows, and J-Lo was right there to pick those contracts up. Which I guess it helps her.
You already have an empire.
But it was just, for a while, it was like, just siéntate, por favor. Siéntate. Because you're doing a lot, baby girl. And what you've done now is you've done so much that literally we're sick of you. We don't want to see it. And it's like, now you're releasing this album because you're with Ben Affleck. That's not even making sense.
I saw an interview that that album, she would not, after they broke up, like she said that was like her biggest heartbreak. And he helped her write the songs, and she wrote those songs when.
Yeah, they wrote it apparently on Jiggly.
So shut up. She never.
Which was a cute movie.
She was talking about how like she couldn't listen to that album, and now that they're back together, she's like it's a chapter that she could like, I don't know, close
she
or
needs to shut the
rehash
fuck
or
up.
whatever.
That's what she needs to do. I love you, J-Lo, but shut the
whatever.
fuck up respectfully and peacefully. like nobody cares. Nobody cares. No one, this album, like, I'm going to listen to it. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to tune in. Like I said, you're my Puerto Rican sister, so I'm going to do what I got to do. But
no.
It's like, what? Siéntate, mija, por favor. Vete pa'l cuarto. Está jodiendo mucho. The fuck?
Whatever. I'm a fan of the early stuff. Get your bag. Do what you gotta do. Orgulloso that the fact that you even one of us.
Speaking of J-Lo, Ashanti.
Did you see the Red Table Talk with her sister and her mom?
I didn't, but I heard I heard some of it. Speaking of Red Table Talk, which got my mind thinking, August Alsina came out as bisexual or gay. And I was just, when it happened, I was like, so Twitter was right. Because they were like, he was part of the entanglement because for years rumors had sparked that Will Smith was very fluid. So it led to the thought, this was just a theory. This is all alleged. None of this is, I have no knowledge of this. All of this, the entanglement bullshit, Will Smith was okay with it because he was okay with another man being there because he's sexually fluid. But it just like when he came out finally gay, because the comeback to that was, well, August is not. And then now he's fully gay. So I'm like, were they all three in bed together? And is there footage? Just kidding. No.
LOL. I can't stand you. But no, the Red Table Talk where Ashanti was on it. I also saw Ashanti's interview with Angie Martinez. And on Red Table Talk, she talked about how her little sister was a part of a domestic violent relationship, and they showed pictures and they talked about it, and I was just like, wow,
Shani.
Wow. Watch it. It was dope. It was dope.
And she got to do that track with P. Diddy, and like everybody was not stressing, but like hype that she said something about somebody's dick being small or something like that. I was like, we're still doing this. We're still surprised about this, but whatever.
Anyways, with all of that being said,
let's head over to our next section, which is Caldero Talk.
all right, mi gente, don't mind me. I keep playing with my hair because this is like I freshly just did it. So like it's all like everywhere right now.
Pressed.
As opposed to when you're like 2 days in and it sits the way you want it to sit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, baby.
So, ew. Anyways,
from a show.
Is it? Who? Anna Nicole Smith?
Thing, no, oh my God.
Wow. R.I.P. Throwback. Anyways.
See, the Thing is podcast. That's one of their...
Who is that?
You wouldn't know.
I love that you're like, I'm not even going to waste my breath. Anyways, so today's topic is accountability after you've pinpointed the trigger. So earlier this week, I had spoke about how I realized that the reason why I don't like cooking and I don't like doing dishes, when I tell you I despise doing dishes, I don't like to cook, but I despise dishes.
It's so weird to me.
But listen to this, because every time I've been in the kitchen since I was super little, it's always been some shit. My mom has always been on some BS, and it'll be like little comments, little passive aggressive comments like, I don't want no dishes in my sink. Are you gonna clean this up? And I'm like still in the process of doing what I'm doing, and she has to like nag me. And even comments of like, oh, another meal prep, are you gonna stick to it this time? And it's like these like right. So it's a lot of these negative. I got in the kitchen. I correlated that with negativity whenever I'm in the kitchen, and rightfully so, because when I, had my roommate, I lived on my own, I had my roommate, I loved cooking for the two of us. And I enjoyed making breakfast. I enjoyed trying new recipes. Dishes didn't bother me. I found it to be therapeutic. And then I get back home. And mi gente, disclaimer, before you guys be in the inbox or be in the comments talking about, so move out, so move out, so move out. Shut up. Shut
People
up.
say that?
Yes, all the time. It sounds like you need to move out. You grown. You should move out. If your parents kicked you out at an early age, just say that, baby.
It's giving you got housing.
So here's my thing. I can live at home with my mom and still acknowledge that there are things that
We're gonna get canceled.
are annoying. Cancel culture doesn't exist until we are the first that actually succeed.
We are the blueprint for the canceled.
I can acknowledge that there are some things that I still need to work on while being home, and I can acknowledge that I cannot afford to live on my own. But the way that y'all think that I can't have an opinion, I can't have a negative thought.
This is the trauma that's been passed down to people. It's like, en casa de mami, it's like,
I pay bills here, thank you. I pay bills here now, thank you.
Yo no quería venir para acá. Y'all brought me into this earth. This is our house, baby. This is our house.
So here's the thing is that, like, I was afforded the opportunity to come back. I'm paying bills. So therefore, I get to say, if you think that I have to, this whole like hush up, this is your mom's house, blah, 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 that's for you. That's good for you. That's not going to work for me.
But the same people that will sit there and be like, hush up, this is your mom's house, are the same people that are repeating the same pattern towards their kids of just like, oh, you can't say nothing here. Esto es mi casa, yo pago. And it's like, yeah, but they did not ask to be here.
Thank you.
You're doing the bare minimum
Thank
at
you.
that.
Thank you.
So explain to me, whose house really is this? Because if you kick them out, you know whose house you're going to? Jail, baby.
Anyways, so with that, so in that I realized, oh, it's not that I don't like to do these things. They just
It's that you don't like to do these things here.
Because at other places, I don't have a problem cooking. I don't have a problem helping clean up the kitchen. I don't have a problem doing the dishes. So, and it was always interesting because whenever my mom would meet my friend's parents, she would be like, they'd be like, oh my God, she's so great. She helps us clean up. Blah, blah. My mom's like, who? She does what? Like she doesn't do that at the house. And at the time, I wasn't able to speak to it. As an adult, I can speak to it now because I realized they made me feel welcomed. They made me feel appreciated. And it wasn't negative when I was helping them do these things or whatever, what have you. It's always, and even today, I got up and I went to go get some coffee. I made coffee yesterday and I forgot about it. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna drink it today. I didn't add anything to it. It was just pure black coffee. So I treated it as iced coffee. Poured it into my cup. Good to go. First thing Sulma says when she walks into the kitchen. Mi gente, I just got out of my room this morning. First thing she says was, good morning. I see you're wasting coffee again. Diantre.
You're like, yeah, in my mug that I bought.
And I'm like, first of all, I'm not wasting coffee because this is the coffee that I made yesterday that I'm going to drink today. So no, I'm not wasting coffee. Good morning to you too. And I took my ass and I went to the basement. I started folding my laundry in the basement because she was going to be in the kitchen. I didn't want to be in the kitchen. And I'm like, wow, I'm really not making this shit up. It's always something. The other day, I was making myself coffee, so I didn't go to Dunkin's. She argued with me over the mug. What does it matter? The mug's coming home anyways because I live here. Then she hands me another mug talking about you can take this one. Yes, I can because this mug is also mine. Yes, I can take both of these mugs because both these mugs is man's. Yeah. So whatever. So it got me to think. Now that I figured it out, it is my responsibility to have that conversation with her so that way I don't feel like that anymore. It makes me, being in the kitchen makes me anxious at the house. It gives me anxiety because I don't know what she's about to say and I can only hold my tongue for so long. Now it's either I'm going to continue to hold my tongue and let it fester and marinate and I'm going to blow up one day, Or I tell her, you know what, Ma, I don't like when you're in the kitchen when I'm in the kitchen.
That's what I did. That's what
it.
I did. I had the same experience. I grew up having to cook. Well, not cook. Having to clean after me and my brother. Obviously, because my mom was working. And there's always just been that. There's always been drama in the kitchen. You know, you didn't do the dishes. You didn't this. There's always been something. So for a long time, it was that. You know, and then when I moved back in 2019. Like I just told my mom, I'm like, when I'm cooking, just like don't come in the kitchen. Don't come in the kitchen because one, it's small. And two, it's like every time that I come in the kitchen, that's when everyone in this house now needs to go to this kitchen. It's the weirdest fucking thing. Like for another thing is the bathroom. Every time I go to the bathroom, it's like somebody's like, are you almost, bro, I just got in. I had to course correct that with my brother of just like, bro, you want to smell my shit that badly that you are every time I need to use the bathroom, you're right there? Oh, I just have to use, you have to use it, but it seems like every time I go, you gotta go. So we on the same cycle or what? Because it's giving something. But yes, I did have to like share that with my mother of just like, can I just have the kitchen? Can I just 30 minutes? Just 30 minutes. I'll clean it.
And that's what I have to do. So I can't blame her anymore because now I've pinpointed it and I know what the trigger is. Now it's up to me to correct it. If I do not correct it, then I can't complain about it. And that's what I'm talking about. Once you've figured it out, how do you hold yourself accountable? How do you then hold others accountable? We keep talking about accountability, but we're talking about holding others accountable. What happens when you have to hold yourself accountable? Now I have to hold myself accountable for having the conversation with her in order to move forward and that it doesn't bother me anymore. Now, the thing that I'm fighting, why it hasn't happened yet, is because I know this lady does not know how to receive feedback. And if I tell her, Mom, can you just like not be in the kitchen? I can say it in the nicest, most respectful way possible. But if you are not ready to hear it, it is going to sound like an attack. It doesn't matter how you paint it. If it comes in a cute little box with a bow on it and cute wrapping paper, that is the works. She has proven to me time and time again that it does not matter how I present it. I have to it's me ripping a Band-Aid off. Every time. It doesn't matter. I can go back and forth, rack my brain about how I want to address this, and she will still find offense to it. What do you mean? What do you mean you don't want me in the kitchen? What bills do you pay here? Ma'am, I run you rent every month. Guess what? I'm going to take these and then it's going to be a battle for me not to meet her where she is. For me not to give her the same energy because she's not going to hear me if I meet her with the exact same energy. Because for some reason, she doesn't hear how she comes off to me. But the moment that I reciprocate the energy, now I'm disrespectful. Now she doesn't understand why I'm upset. She doesn't hear her tone. So it's constantly correcting her tone in order to have a productive conversation.
Yeah.
And that's hard because that I have to put my pride aside and check my ego at the door before I have any kind of conversation with this lady because she's not going to hear me. And I tell you guys these things because I don't want you to think that I'm not practicing what I preach at any point. These are hard. Our parents aren't easy. They're not easy. And we can't sit up here and say that we're doing these things and not talk to you about the real life instances in which we have to put these best practices to use. It's a battle.
And I also think like it's super important for people to have conversations with their parents and just have energy checks, you know? Like I started doing that after I moved to New York. That's when I started having conversations with my mom via text of just like, you know, when this happened, this was really fucked up. Like, this is how I felt. Like, and it's always been met with just apologetic energy or energy that was just like understanding why I was hurt and let me just, you know, let me just hear him out and just see, where this is coming from. And still to this day, it's still the same way back and forth, but it starts somewhere, right? And I feel like a lot of people, when I talk to them or when they tell me about their situations with their parents, all my friends live with their parents, and just hearing them, and I'm like, why don't you just try having a conversation, a normal conversation of just like, and no, go into the fire knowing you're gonna get burned, but at the end of the day, at the end of the fire, you might just walk away with just one little scar, like one little wound, but you got to express how you felt. And it may not have been heard in the moment, because a lot of the older parents, sometimes they don't listen, they listen to respond. So they're not used to that. They're not used to, somebody in the house, they could saying something or whatever, because the way that they were raised. So understanding that they are going through their trauma as well, and approaching the situation on that note of just like, I already know this person's going to be crazy, but, can I just talk to you real quick? Sometimes even, a lot of people don't even ask for that acknowledgement of can I have a conversation with you? Yeah. Some people just go into it of just like, so I wanted to tell you, and it's like, you didn't even set the tone, right? You didn't even set the mood of just like, hey, can we sit down and just have a real quick, talk? I wanted to express something to you, so that it's a clear, this is a moment of expression. We're both going to be expressive, but we're walking away, and even the fine print of just like, I'm going to share this with you. I don't know how you're going to take it. I'm not coming off rude. I'm not coming off, combative. I just need to get this off my mind and just share this with you, so that we can kind of try to get somewhere in the middle. Because we do live together. And at the end of the day, whether I pay bills or I don't pay bills, at the end of the day, we're living here. And until the day comes that we're not living here, we need to figure out how to coexist. Yep. And I need to eat. I need to cook. I need, and it's like, tell me if I'm doing it wrong. If I'm not cleaning up to your standard, or if I'm not, then tell me. But don't, every time I'm around, every time I'm eating, every time I make a meal, don't lead with a negative comment. Because that has caused a lot of drifts between me and a lot of family members. Because it's like the negative, like, tú estás comiendo otra vez. Oh, you're going to eat, you're going to cook. Oh, you're making all those meals. You're gonna make sure that you eat them all.
Or even when you order out, you're ordering out again.
And it's like,
because I don't want to sit in this kitchen, and you still talking shit.
And it's just like unnecessary. It's like, yeah, but how many times have you ate today? Like, I'm not sitting there, and I just started matching that energy. Like, I have an aunt who every now and again will make a comment about how much, mind you, this is how my trauma works. When I am at family events, I tend to not eat like how I normally eat. And I like to eat, but I'll eat.
Especially when the food about to
like I'll eat just to be polite. A cute little bit of something. So usually if you see me eating, it's probably because I've already kind of overdrank a little bit too much, and I'm like, okay, shit, like
I gotta eat.
I don't want to be that one right now, so let me just eat. So this aunt would always be like, you're eating again? Until I met her where she was at. And I was like, I'm eating again. I'm like, how are you saying that to me as you're sucking on a chicken bone? Because you already ate. You didn't even bring anything. That's the gag.
and then, when I said in that video, we will clap back, understand, we will clap back. We are not kids anymore.
And after that, like, or another time that she said something, and I was like, not you fat shaming. I was like, not that. We're not doing that, right? And she's like, what? How am I fat shaming? I'm like, you talk like if I ate everything here, honey. I'm having a pastelito. And it was, oh, deja más palo. So now when I don't come around, now when you're like, where have you been? It's because I can't even eat here in peace, bro. I don't want to be somewhere I can't eat. Sorry. Can't do it. And it's not my job to change you.
Have you been around that person since?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's always met with that energy, bro. If you are
And
going
she's
to
still meeting.
no,
Oh, okay.
I will say that something triggered or something clicked up there and was just like, let me leave this one alone because this one's on edge. And then there was a time that I had to tell her, like, you don't say comments like that to people. I'm like, you don't know if I ate all day. You don't know if I'm actually throwing up after I eat this. That's why you don't say things like that. It's like, it's just a joke. I'm like, it's just a joke to you.
But every
And guess
time-
what? We're not in the 70s where it was just a joke. It's
You're
no
gonna be
longer
held
a joke.
accountable.
It's
Ding
fucking
dong,
rude.
ding dong.
And if you want to eat 10 plates, baby, go eat those 10 plates. Because what the fuck else is the food for? What is the food for? I always had this question. This is how you know I was a fat ass even more when I was younger. What is the food for? Why are we preserving this food? What are we doing? Oh, to have leftovers. Baby.
So what you're saying is you just want to eat it another day, but it's still gonna get ate. Oh, so what happened? Why can't I just eat it today?
So, yeah.
But again, now it's that holding yourself accountable to make sure that you keep those boundaries in check. Mm-hmm. And like, if we're honest, again, what do we call them? Buzzwords: narcissist, triggered, anxiety, accountability. These are all buzzwords. What happens when we now have to internalize those, internalize accountability? It's one thing to tell someone they need to be held accountable, but what happens when we talked about feedback? How do you receive feedback? What happens when someone needs to hold you accountable?
Oh, baby. I try to lead with a listening ear. Mm-hmm. I have been practicing listening to understand. I will literally recite that in my head as somebody is expressing something to me about myself. I'm just like, don't respond. Just listen. Really hear. Because I was having this conversation with a coworker on Friday, and I was just like, they were like, I hate when people, critique me about this because they don't know nothing about it. And I was like, well, there's something to be taken away from every critique that you're given. It may not be what you like, and it may be coming from someone, yes, who probably is less qualified than you. But at the end of the day, if you are a creative and if you are somebody who's trying to get better, then you would listen to what they said. Yes, again, it may not be what you like to hear, but there's something there that you can take from it.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I like when it comes to situations where people are checking me or putting me in and being like, yo, you're doing this. I'm just like, you're right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But if you're wrong, baby, I'm going to tell you. And that's on accountability.
No, but here's the thing, though, is that Friday when we hung out, there was this thing that you kept saying that I thoroughly enjoyed. So we were like in a room full of people, intellectual people. Everybody was debating about whatever, what have you. And anytime you disagreed with someone, you let them finish. And the moment that they finish, you said, I'm going to meet you there. And then you would present your side of it. And you said it a few times, and I was like, I like that. I'm going to meet you where you are at in this conversation. Now, whatever you take from that, you could take from that. But I met you where you were at. So you want me to meet you at crazy, baby? I'll meet you at crazy.
Right.
You want me to meet you at calm, cool, and collected? I got you at calm, cool, and collected. You know what I mean? Which I enjoy. And I was like, I wonder if he got that from his therapist or it's just a way for you to process what you're about to say before you say it.
I think it's a safe, not a safety, but like kind of like just a reassurance of just like I'm speaking loud, I'm speaking, there's
Passionate,
point,
you're passionate, yep.
But I'm not coming from you're wrong, I'm right, shut up.
Yeah.
I'm coming from a place like, I get you. I'm gonna meet you right there. I'm here. We're here. Boom. Mm-hmm. But
I love that though. I love that.
And it kind of just helps steer that conversation of just like, oh, okay, he's not arguing. He ain't right, but he ain't arguing.
Right. You know what I mean? Like,
and then
but again, if you guys, so to circle back, if you guys could really, I challenge you guys with this week. If you guys can think about something that triggers you or the reason why behind you don't like something, if you can pinpoint it, I challenge you to confront it and then hold yourself accountable to confront it and not just continue to hold on to whatever it is that you're holding on to, but really allowing yourself to feel what you need to feel in order to move past it. Because accountability can be a beautiful thing if we understand what we're being held accountable for. If someone's barking at you, you have to be held accountable. You need to be held accountable. But for what though? What am I being held accountable for? And what does that mean moving forward? We love these buzzwords, but we're not offering any context to how to be better in those sectors. You know what I mean? So I challenge you guys this week to pinpoint what it is that you might be running from, open yourself up to it, and then holding yourselves accountable to move past it. Because the trauma that we experienced growing up wasn't our fault. How we heal from it is now our responsibility. And that was what was super prevalent for me this week. It's one thing for me to get online and talk about these traumas, but it's another thing for me to be the one that starts to heal from it, because I am now an adult and I have the power to change my circumstances. So with that being said, mi gente, that's basically Ruben saying that's a period. With that being said, we are going to head over into our next section, which is
A reposar. Welcome to Reposar, the last part of the show, where we leave you guys with some positive affirmations and just leave you guys feeling all gushy inside.
I can't stand you. Anyways.
What you got?
We have any shout outs this week? Shout out to all the new followers on Instagram.
I did see that.
I greatly
was wondering I also have mad people viewing my TikTok page but not following, and I was like,
that's annoying.
I know you think I'm funny. Like,
Nah. Ruben might be my favorite TikToker. I'm not gonna hold you. So y'all need to put some respect on his TikTok. Just shout out to all the new followers and the people that are rocking with us. This is 3 years in the making, and we're hoping for a fourth. But we gotta start seeing some money, because this isn't cheap.
That part.
You know what I mean?
That big part.
That big part, right. But yes, so a quote that I'll leave with, I said it in the last section, I'll say it again. The trauma that you experienced as a kid was not your fault, but the healing that you do as an adult is absolutely your responsibility. I'm not even going to elaborate on that because that's pretty clear.
Damn, I wish you would elaborate so you can give me some time to find my quote.
LOL.
I don't know.
So to save my co-host,
I don't know.
We're too old now. We are too grown to be walking around talking about when I was a kid and you did this. Okay, they did it. How do we move past it and get over it? Referencing another episode. How do we make sure that we have exhausted it to the point where we can identify the issue, heal from the issue, and now we are going to move past the issue? A lot of us are using our trauma as a crutch so that we don't advance and or we become better versions of ourselves, because we would much rather live in our misery than fully embrace our peace. Damn, that was a word. I'm sorry.
Y'all just got scared. All right, let me get in this. And this is just really my feel and my mood all the time. Whatever I did while I was drunk, that was not me. So that's all I'm going to say. That's my quote. Because I feel like sometimes, obviously I'm a wild card when I drink and it's a good time. But then the next day and people are like, oh my God. I'm like, that was a different person. Okay. It's giving 8 hours in between since we last saw each other. We're okay. We're not that no more. So don't bring it back up. Thank you.
Can't stand him.
I do want to make the announcement, obviously reminding everyone that we are on a bi-weekly schedule. So every other week you get a private episode. If you subscribe, you get to listen to that. And then every other week you get an episode that's released to the public on our YouTube. And other than that, I think that we covered a lot today.
We did.
Gave you a nice, juicy episode. And my name is Rosales, and I'm blasting off.
And I'm Nina Montañez. Stay blessed, mi gente. Thank Thank you for tuning into this episode of Sofrito Speaks.
Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Sofrito Speaks to keep up with all of our latest content.